Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 63 of the Galactic Window Space Podcast. My name is Nick, and sometimes when I mulch leaves in my backyard, I am known as the Orbital Alliance.
Hey everyone, I am Tan, also known as Chasing the Milk.
That's right, and we are back for another episode of this space and astronomy podcast. The Galactic Window is a premise that Tan and I created to help people to grow closer with the night sky, to give them a chance to peer through the eyes of someone else as they uniquely take in our cosmos that are above all of us. So here we are yet again, going to look through the lens of us this week and perhaps maybe cinema. Right, Tan?
That's right. Right you are, Nick. Dude, I feel like, and I know they say this, you just nailed the intros every single week, man. How do you do it? How do you do it?
I don't know, man, but I feel like we just became an ASMR podcast.
Yeah, I guess so.
Start clicking pens and tapping on glass.
Yeah. Welcome in, everyone. Thanks for tuning in, whether you guys are watching live over on YouTube or you're listening over on all the major audio platforms.
Mhm.
We're so stoked to be here. And tonight is going to be something we haven't done before, and I'm extremely excited for it. And we hope you guys like it.
Agreed. We're experimenting a little bit, and we'll talk a little bit more on that particular topic at the end of the show. But tonight, we're going to do a bit of a pop culture deep dive on the space topic. So, movies, TV shows, music, things of the like. We're going to be taking a closer look at a particular item. In this case, tonight, Interstellar, one of the most popular space movies, space epics, dare I say, of our time, if not all time.
Hold on. We're going to talk about Interstellar.
That's right.
That happens to be one of my favorite space movies. Whoa.
Oh, snap.
Let's do it.
Me too. I have a feeling that we are definitely not alone. This movie has been out since 2014, I believe. So
crazy to think it's been that long.
11 years. I know, right? And it really has left its mark on us, on probably many in the chat, and many who are just existing. It's really a marvel. And I'm not talking about Marvel movies, of course.
Yeah, we're talking about something way cooler.
Yeah. But we thought let's leverage art and the media or the medium of art and dig into it, because there is quite a bit to learn about space and astronomy through art, because most of that stuff, whether it's a Bob Ross painting or a Hollywood, feature, is rooted in science or has some nod or attention to the detail of science and astronomy. That in the case of space movies. So let's dig into it tonight and see what we can find and share with you guys. But of course, we also have a live chat here. So if you're tuning in with us live, do please contribute in the live chat and let us know your thoughts throughout the conversation that Tan and I have, and let us know what you think. Share your opinions of the movie, and of course, keep it clean, keep it friendly, and focused on education and community.
Exactly. What Nick said. Let's keep it clean and let's learn a little bit about astronomy and all the things that go with it when it comes to this movie, Interstellar.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously there's going to be probably a lot of spoilers. So right off the bat, if you haven't seen the movie Interstellar, we are going to do a pretty good dive into it. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It is truly one of I feel like it's definitely one of the iconic space movies of all time. There's a lot up there, but Interstellar, I would be surprised if it didn't make the list for whatever reason. So yeah, just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
I agree. This is absolutely a spoiler cast. I think we won't be putting any sort of shields up. If we want to use a sci-fi reference throughout the show. So yeah, if you haven't seen it, you have been warned officially as of this moment. And maybe that's your sign to go watch a movie, then come back to this podcast after. Because as soon as we're done live streaming, this episode is available for rewatch. So do your thing and enjoy this episode as you see fit. You know,
Mhm.
um, but
Man, I see a lot of people in the chat. Hello, everyone. We also got a Galactic Window veteran. We've had
dude,
Ian Lauer on the show before. It's definitely one of my favorite space movies. It does such a good job at explaining time dilation. Ooh, man, I mean, that is a big one. Might have
mhm.
to save that for a little bit later because I'm gonna I need a little bit of energy before I want my brain to melt. But time dilation is a very interesting thing, and we'll definitely talk about it.
You need to have some time digestion first.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy, man. Before we jump in, Interstellar is one of the movies that I've had to just watch over and over to really grasp some of the concepts that they were explaining in the video, and all the little subtleties too. The first time around, I feel like I didn't catch or I didn't quite get it. Second time around, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Third time around, I'm like, whoa. And every time I revisit, it's almost like, how did I miss this? And it ages like wine. It's beautiful.
Hmm. That's true. Um, but yeah, I'm stoked. I know Tan, I know you're stoked. We've been excited to have this conversation. But I want to introduce you guys quick before we jump into a little gosh, what would we call it? A feature, perhaps? Um,
Okay.
that we wanted to ask for your guys' participation in really quick before we get
Oh
into the
yeah, yeah,
mess.
yeah. Guys,
Um
this is huge. This is
so
life changing.
of course, we stream this episode live to YouTube. It's where we primarily do the show. And YouTube just put a feature out called Hype. And we wanted to make you guys know, aware of it, because we just learned about it, and there is potentially some really cool, like rewards maybe that come with it, benefits. Maybe that's the better way of describing it. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys like a screen capture that I took on my phone real quick. Let me see where to go. I think, is that it there? Yeah, that's it there. Okay. So what I'm going to do, so let me explain it first. So they introduced a new button. So if you're watching on your phone, you can find it there. Or if you're on desktop watching, you can also do it there as well. So on your screen, there's going to be like a little bar underneath the video. And that's where you usually see the thumbs up and the thumbs down and the thanks button. Sometimes you have to scroll that bar over. And there's going to be a new button called the hype button. And you can click it. And basically, it supports the video that you're watching for free. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to do anything. It's just literally like you're hyping the video. And the more people that do that, it puts us on a leaderboard if we hit the right score. And those videos that hit the leaderboard top 100 get boosted in visibility on YouTube. So the show, if we get hyped enough, will be pushed to a newer and larger audience. And we would love to experiment with that. So let me show you the video here. I'm going to drop us out here.
Guys, hype us up.
So here's a screen capture from my phone. It might be a little small, but you can see, I'll scoot it over. It says, hype this video, be the first. And you can click hype. And then if you scroll over, there's, remix, thanks, and then hype. And then this little screen pulls up and you click hype, and you can give 2.6 thousand points, which is such a strange number. And you can see the top, the number populates there on the screen. And the more people that do it, the better. The bigger the number. Oops, wrong layout. So I don't know how this is going to go. I see we've got 16 people watching right now, which is fantastic. And if every one of you hits it, I think you get 3 hypes per week, and then it resets. And you can do this to any video on YouTube. Apparently, correction, any video with a subscriber count of 500,000 or less, I think, is where it's at. So it's made to help smaller creators, kind of get out there a little bit. And it's a free way to do it. So we would appreciate your guys' support if you're willing to try that. I also do want to feature one little bit of progress we have had with this feature, which is exciting. Yeah? I'm going to show this graphic here. You ready?
Okay. What is this?
A couple weeks ago, we were number 57 on the leaderboard in Slovenia.
Let's go.
For the Ryan O'Neal episode 60 Sleeping at Last video, which was just super cool. And we know, of course, that one of our super fans Tamara, who's regularly in the chat, she literally sets an alarm for like 4 a.m. to wake up and watch the show. She's from Slovenia, and she's literally on the other side of the planet, and she's been hyping the video up using this feature, and we ended up on the leaderboard in that country. So we don't quite know what the benefits will be in the long run of that, but it's a super cool thing. And yeah, we'd appreciate your support if you're willing to just give an extra click. It's right on the video below. And if it doesn't populate now, it might show up later when the stream is over. So just pop back over and tap, 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 you know?
W's in the chat. We're 57 in Slovenia. Let's go. Here she is. A member for 7 months. This is Princess Tamara. Wrong channel. I thought this was about Titanic. JK saying hi. See you guys on the replay. Yeah, a truly committed, loyal member here. Thank you so much. And like Nick was saying, guys, it seriously, all these little things that we ask for, it honestly goes a long, long way. So if you guys could help hype us out, and on top of that, make sure you like the video too after you watch it, and if you aren't already, subscribe. I know these things can get a little annoying just because every creator always pushes it, but it is truly it's one of the best ways to just get our reach out there. So please and thank you. And yeah, let's see what this hype thing does. This is new for us. It's new for all of us. So kind of experimenting and seeing what happens.
Well, thing is though, Tamara wasn't wrong, because she's thought this was Titanic, but this is Nick.
Man, I wish we had Titanic. Hey, that's pretty quick that you thought of that, man.
Oh gosh,
it's pretty good.
Cancel me now, please.
That's pretty good.
I'll see you guys later. I'm done. Have a great night, Tan. You enjoy this conversation with yourself, because I'm clearly not mature enough to handle the Interstellar discussion. Oh my gosh,
that's pretty good. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
Weak. Everyone's revoking their hype. Is there a reverse hype button?
Well, maybe we can get it back once we do a deep dive.
That's true.
Interstellar.
Let's do it. Let's switch it up.
You want to jump in?
Ready. Launch it. Okay, so let's pull up a picture here really quick. So you guys aren't totally familiar, here's the movie poster. I'm just gonna drop it over our faces because, yeah, why not? I'll just scoot over a little bit. Yep. There he is, Mr. McConaughey. Matthew McConaughey is the lead. He's on the poster here. Several other really well-known actors and actresses. But Tan, you have a quick synopsis of the movie for everybody?
Yeah. This is again spoiler alert, so just know that we are going to talk about the movie, but I'll give you guys just kind of like a short version, and also disclaimer, I wouldn't say I am a Interstellar connoisseur. This is probably from 6 or 7 times of watching the movie, but I feel like I summed it down so most of you guys can understand like what the movie's about. So in the future, Earth becomes unlivable, all right? And there's like dust storms, crops are getting really hard to grow, and a former pilot is recruited for a secret mission to find humanity a new home, basically. So he travels through a wormhole. Him and his crew explores dangerous planets where intense gravity steals decades from their lives. This is the time dilation that Ian was referring to earlier, and we'll do a dive on that later. But basically, after they enter a black hole, the pilot is able to send crucial information back to Earth that allows humanity to escape. And that's it in a nutshell. And again, there's so much more to it, but I feel like just watching the movie is a better way to really understand the entirety of it.
True.
That's basically it.
Yeah, that's a really great summary. It's one of the most in-depth, scientifically rich movies ever, but it also has just such a, if you boil it down, a very simple narrative, which I think is what makes the movie beautiful, is that you can slap all this like really intricate science onto a basic, timeless story, and
Mhm.
you know, it becomes identifiable. And then you start asking all these questions about the nitty gritty stuff, which is super cool. Um, but yeah, I think one of the things about movies is that you tend to typically have an emotional attachment to it, right? That's if a movie is well done, your heart becomes connected with this work of art, this film. And I think a lot of us find that attachment the very first moment that we see movies. Like, for instance, like I remember the very first time I saw the third Lord of the Rings movie, Return of the King. I know exactly which theater, theater 16. I know exactly what time it was. Like, it's just crazy. Like I have an attachment emotionally to that film. And I have the same thing with Interstellar. And Tan, I bet you do too. Like, do you remember the first time seeing the movie and what it meant to you?
Yeah, I was actually a kind of like a late bloomer. I, for whatever reason, just um, didn't get to see it in theaters. So my first time wasn't in theaters. It was actually just on like a probably like a 27-inch um, tiny little monitor, but it planted a seed and it kind of set the bar for what I want to look out for in space movies. Growing up, I've always enjoyed like sci-fi movies, but this one was very special because one, I am just a big fan of Nolan, Christopher Nolan, and going in, I kind of had already predicted that it was going to be just a crazy movie. And after sitting there and watching the whole thing, it kind of just left me wanting more. And
Mhm.
yeah, it definitely planted the seed and set the bar really high for me. How about you?
Nice. Yeah. I remember seeing it when it came out, went to see it in IMAX with some friends, and I distinctly remember being emotionally wrecked for about 2 days after I watched the movie. And that's how I know a movie has received one of those instant passes into my, you know, you know, psyche. Like the it received a you can access any part of me, free pass. And literally, I just couldn't stop thinking about it. It wrecked my brain of what's possible, but most importantly, it made me really truly believe that space was touchable, that I could go, and I wanted nothing more in my life that to than to go and to be there and to experience it. Like, it made it feel so real to me that it made me feel like I went. And of course, seeing it in IMAX and hearing it loud and that sort of super immersion that format offers, like, really penetrated my soul. So I will never forget it. And I saw it a second time. I went with my dad. I was like, dude, you got to see this. Um, it was so cool. So yes, my first experience itself, unforgettable, won't ever leave my memory for sure, and it definitely is ingrained in my DNA at this point.
I'm super jealous that you got to see it in IMAX, um, because I just hear it's such a game changer. And I know, I think last year was it 10-year anniversary? Was it last year?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, and I know they were doing like special features in certain locations where they did have it in IMAX, and I think the closest location with me was like 3 hours, and uh, I didn't go, but in hindsight, I definitely regret not going. I think I would have made that 3 hour trip just to see a movie.
I did see it last year in IMAX again.
Oh, no
Yeah,
way.
when it
Oh,
came out,
man.
yeah,
I'll have to catch it next time if they ever do it again.
it was worth it. And like you were saying before, I don't know how many times I've watched the movie, probably like 20 plus times now, and, I was still noticing new things in it last year when I
Yeah.
saw it in IMAX. So,
Oh, that's great.
yeah, it's you just keep looking. And even it's like going beyond the atom and into the Higgs boson territory or something. You're looking so fine, you know?
Yeah, there's so much. It's not a movie that you can just have in the background like while you're doing something. Sure, it might be nice just to have it there, but you really do have to sit down and just pay attention because so much happens so quick.
Right?
I'm gonna
Go ahead. Go for
real
it.
quick. Let me just pin this.
Yep.
What's up? Alex is in the chat here. Alex McCarthy says, "Okay, so YouTube is recommending I buy or rent Interstellar before or below the stream. I think it's
Mm,
a sign." Um, Yeah, I actually just bought it recently, and it was only $5 on Prime. It was like a sale,
Nice.
so do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the things that, with media today, there's like reaction videos and reviews all over YouTube. This, in a way, it's a discussion, but it's kind of the same thing. Obviously, we're not showing the movie, but I know YouTube is going to use its algorithms to detect which videos are discussing or featuring you know actual IPs and content, licensed content. So while we're not violating any sort of terms of service or anything like that, I do want to say please go support the official movie. Go watch it, purchase it, watch it legally. Can't endorse that enough. It's such a huge thing, and Tan and I both believe in that. So we wish we could show you the whole movie right now. We would just do a watch party
Watch party? Oh my
if there were no
dude, we
rules.
might have to do that.
Yeah. So definitely support the movie, and I'm kind of glad they put that on there so you guys have a way to go access it.
Yeah, we seriously highly recommend it. It is top 3 movies of all time.
Mhm.
Not just top 3 space movie, but just movie in general. It's so good. And I see we got a new member.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let's get the hype up in here. Let's go. Yeah.
There we go. Sakura Koi 808 just became a new YouTube member. Thank you guys so much. Sakura, we really appreciate your support. Thank you.
Man. Yeah. So this is obviously a very deep discussion we're about to get into. So let's keep
Let's jump in.
digging down.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different lenses we can look at in this movie. We can look at the story, which is enough to take up the whole hour here. The philosophy of things, the production, and the science behind everything. So we got some lists of things to discuss here that we would love to get into. So let's just talk about the story a little bit first. Let's start there. Let's see. Okay, so Tan gave a really good synopsis, but there is kind of some discussion about whether or not is this story is this movie a story about a father and daughter, or is it about the survival of humanity? Is it about exploring the cosmos, or is it all of the above? So, Tan, let me just ask you, what do you think this movie is ultimately about? Boil it down. What's left?
I would say it's about mostly about love. Um, it's about a deep bond and how love can be used to just do insane things that are just way outside of our like it's hard for me to explain. In short, it's basically just love. Love is the thing that can save humanity. Um, I know there's different angles that you can attack when it comes to this film because obviously it's about space. But for me, the whole idea, at least every time I watch it, and I'm watching the ending scene and all those little bits and moments, emotional roller coasters that happen in the movie, I always kind of gravitate to love and how it can be used to kind of guide humanity in the right direction.
Ooh,
Yeah. What about
brilliant.
you?
Yeah, I think you're in the right place. I think love is the core value of the story, and maybe Christopher Nolan, the director, would disagree with us. I don't know. We should just have him on the show and find out. But
Let's do it.
dream come true much. But yeah, I think you're right, and I think it is a story of layers. It's an onion, really, and I think you do go through all of those things, like those things I listed earlier, and eventually I think the center of it is love, that it is something that goes far beyond time and space, and but you can't have love without people, right? Like it's a human story about the interconnectedness of human beings, and that's worth fighting for, right? I think that's really the core of it. And I know there's going to be a specific line that we touch on a little bit later in regards to that, but ultimately that's maybe my assessment, is that it's an onion, and you peel the layers off of space travel and survival, and the rest of it. And you start getting down to it. And then it's like, okay, there's the father and the daughter, and then it's love. It's about how do people stay connected no matter where they are or when they are.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good. Really curious on what you guys think too. For those of you guys who have seen um Interstellar, let us know, kind of like give us a couple words. Like what's the movie about?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's gosh, there's just my brain is racing right now. I'm like, where do I go next? Because there's just so many good things. Oh, dude,
Ooh, Stargazer Astro. We
that's
got
right.
another vet.
Dude, that's a throwback to episode 6
Episode
of the show.
6,
Episode 6.
and we're on episode 63.
That's right.
Wow.
Elliot, Stargazer Astro.
What's going on? Elliot with one T. He's only got one T in his name.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
good to see you, man. Thanks for coming by.
Let's see. Two sets of father daughters. Let me read these out real quick.
That's true.
Human connections and bonding.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely. No wrong answers there.
Yeah. So, just to add a little bit of context to it, the main character Cooper has a daughter, Murph, right? And they are very close on Earth, and they get separated by space travel and time dilation. Eventually reunited at the end, and that is kind of the canvas that the story gets told. But there's all these other people like Professor Brand and Doctor Brand, like another father daughter, and there's Dr. Brand and Wolf Edmonds, the other astronaut. They're bonded by a relationship of love. And arguably, Dr. Mann, who maybe didn't have a romantic relationship, was in love with himself,
Mm-hmm.
and he was alone.
Yeah.
Like, there's this, his own survival was his adoration. Like, so love is kind of found in all these different things. And maybe the NASA scientists, the other crew of the Endurance, they, like Doyle and Romilly, like they are maybe perhaps in love with the human race. Like they're trying to preserve the human race at all costs.
They're on a mission, dude.
Right. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of different representations of love, and everybody's fighting for that in their own unique way. Um, I think that just further, like, kind of backs up our point, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just kind of lost in my head right now.
I know. It's a rich topic for sure. Um, but there's, of course, all these different scientific, sort of pathways that they take, like, that get explored. So obviously these people have to save the human race, and they have this plan A and plan B, right? Plan A being, hey, let's go explore a new home for planet Earth for humans. Let's take humans off of Earth on a big spaceship, send them somewhere far deep into space where there's a new habitable planet, and then we can repopulate it and grow the human race and let Earth die. That's plan A. Plan B is everybody dies except for these crews that go into space, these small little crews, and they have all these, artificially habitated, embryos that are supposed to blossom and bloom into the new human race. So these are both kind of happening simultaneously throughout the film. But they go through space flight. They have to get off of Earth. Then they go through a wormhole where they are literally bypassing space time to get from point A to point B somewhere else. Then they enter a new star system, which is under the influence of a black hole, and there's all these other planets in different areas that are there they visit. And then, of course, there's the end where they do engage with Gargantua, the black hole, and going into it and then unlocking this singularity in the black hole, which ends up being this tesseract. So all these, like, crazy things are happening. And I know for those of you who are like, I'm kind of just into space a little bit, or maybe I've seen this movie once, you're like, bro, what the heck are you talking about? I guess the point is you don't have to know exactly what all those mean. Let's talk, Tan, about all those different kind of milestone markers, those scientific things that occur, because
Yeah,
science
that's good.
is the foundation of the movie in a way, not the core, but like the language it speaks. So, do you want to take it? Do you want to talk a little bit about how that's been influenced?
I don't even know where to start.
Mhm. Do you want to talk about Dr. Kip Thorne?
Ooh, this is important. Yeah. Let's see. Got a little notes pulled up here.
Mhm.
This was something that I learned after the fact, and I had no idea that like I didn't know who this person was until much later, and it gave me a whole new appreciation on this movie. So I'll give you my 2 cents, and maybe you can kind of like fill in too.
Mhm.
So the biggest thing I would say is like how accurate is the science in Interstellar? When it comes to cinema, a lot of things are like dramatized, right? Like things are a little bit more seasoned for your viewing pleasure. But when it comes to Interstellar, what's real, what's not accurate, like let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Um, Kip Thorne is a world famous theoretical physicist who specializes in black holes, wormholes, gravity, and the nature of space time. Now, I mean, there's so many things we can talk about, but let's just start with wormholes because I think this part is so fascinating. I don't really know much about wormholes, but just learning a little bit about it, after watching this movie was so interesting. So
Mhm.
in the movie, the wormholes, black holes, they're scientifically possible, but they are unproven. So Interstellar treats wormholes as like shortcuts through space time, right? Which is a real theoretical physics. But Kip Thorne, like he made sure that the movie didn't violate Einstein's equations, which I think it's so fascinating. So although like technically yes, it's unproven, there's all these different layers that are scientifically accurate, and Kip made sure that the movie stayed true on that path, which is so freaking cool.
Dude, yeah. Right, because he was like Christopher Nolan brought him on as essentially a science advisor, but like they went so much deeper than any movie ever has, where they used actual math to influence the renderings, the graphical renderings for the movie,
Yeah,
which otherwise in any other movie like Star Wars or whatever is left up to artists, not scientists to influence. So like, hey, what concept artists in a production team, it's like, hey, draw us what you think a wormhole might look like in this or what does this creature look like or whatever, and they'll draw a bunch of stuff up and the director will come along and approve it, and like, yeah, I think that looks the most of what's in my head. you know that is not the case with this. Like, they're like, hey, yeah, what do you actually think this looks like? What's the closest representation? And they plugged them into a very specific engine. Like, I actually think, let's see, I had a note here that talked about it. So yeah, the visual effects team, which was called Double Negative, which worked on the film. They rendered the wormhole using Thorne's equations, using the double negative gravitational renderer. So they literally developed an engine so that this could work, like specifically for this.
that's insane. I can't imagine how much time that took to even like try to render.
hmm Yeah, and I know the same thing for the black hole, which ultimately was maybe is like sort of the big showcase piece of this whole movie was nobody's ever actually graphically rendered a mathematically correct black hole, and they were able to do it, and it's now set the bar across not only Hollywood but even for scientific experiments, like actually trying to interpret how a black hole would actually react to influences. Um, I can't remember this. I don't have the top of my head or available to me right now, but I did read. It took what was it? Was it months to render the black
I
hole?
remember hearing something like that. It was something crazy.
hmm So, it's I bet I could find a search really quick and find it to give you the correct thing. But that these let me tell you, with movies in production, when like Pixar, they're animating Toy Story or your favorite movie, animated movie, they have render farms, which are just rooms full of machines, computers dedicated to just exporting the final frames of the film that become the movie that you watch, right? So all of the effects teams and the compositors and the artists and 3D modelers and the environment painters and whatever, like all their stuff comes together. It goes into these render farms, and basically the computers smash all those layers into one and give you the frame by frame, one picture at a time. 24 frames per second, which ends up being an hour and a half or 2 hour movie. And it takes a very long time, even with today's computers, because the detail is so rich. But with this, the mathematical computation was the extra sauce on top of it. It was not only did they have stars and ships flying around in Interstellar, they had to actually make sure this black hole was moving the way it mathematically should based on Kip Thorne's equations. And I'm going to find out how long it took because it was an insane number. So
yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole idea is just so interesting, and I don't know if it's something like this has been done. Hold on. There's a comment here from where'd you go, Duke? I forgot what parts, but I seem to remember Neil deGrasse Tyson having issues with some of the science of the movie. That sounds like something that would happen with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Wormholes are legit in math. We just haven't seen one in the wild. And I think how the producers and everyone on the team like displayed this, is absolutely incredible. It's the closest. I think it's the closest thing that we can get to visualizing what that actually looks like. And it's beautiful.
Let's add some context, real world context here. Black holes are, we've observed them remotely, or we can use math to interpret where they are based on gravitational influences. But it was only recently, what was it? And I think Ryan O'Neal talked about it on episode 60 because he made a song about the first time that we've actually directly imaged a black hole. So really seeing a black hole visibly is a very, very recent, within the last 10 years, achievement of humanity. So we don't really have a reference for what these actually look like, which I think is what makes this really profound, is that these artists were able to assist science to make this a reality, which is super cool. But I got some more data here. So they estimated that it took about 100 days of real world time of constant and perpetual rendering in the render farm to output the sequence of the black hole. Let's see. About 800 terabytes of data was generated.
No way, dude.
Yes. So
800 terabytes?
800 terabytes. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you guys think of just like a single photo that you just snapped on your iPhone or Android, that's probably like what, maybe 5 to 20 megabytes at the most.
Mm-hmm.
If I were to download our 3-hour podcast and save it, that would maybe be like what?
It's like 200
megabytes?
So
800 terabytes.
So this here is I have a solid state drive in my hand. It's about the size of a credit card. I use these all the time. I've got a stack of them. This is 2 terabytes. So let's do the math there. 800 terabytes. So that's 400 of these just to render the sequence with the black hole. That's just the shots with the black hole in that movie. And it's a 3-hour movie. So you need 400 of these.
Imagine if you made a mistake in that render too. Like you forgot to leave some text up or something.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. The placeholder.
The
music bed or whatever. Audio jungle still on. Dude.
Man, that would suck. Wow. That's a lot of computing power.
It is.
Incredible.
But yeah, I think it's worth noting just on that topic, and we can keep it moving here. But the science is deeply rooted in the creation of the visual effects that you see in this movie, and we have so much to learn. It's not just based on theory, but it's helping. 90%. 98%, and it crashes.
Oh, been there.
Alex in the chat, dude. But these renderings for film are influencing actual science, and there's now real research being done based on these models, which is cool. And we're 11 years down the line, so it's improving. It was a starting point. We're able to use these methods going forward. I think there was an article that came out within the last 2 years that talked about how there's been some new discoveries because these models exist.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
Interstellar is setting the bar pretty high.
For real.
Yeah, so now you guys know Interstellar. Sure, there are some moments that can be a little bit dramatized, but for the most part, it is the entire film is rooted on accurate science, or I would
Yeah.
say a good chunk of it.
Hmm. Well, on that note, beyond the science influence stuff, there's just the production of the film is really remarkable. The sound design, the score, the soundtrack, and then just the visual effects themselves, like beyond the mathematical side of it, are they're really groundbreaking and fantastic. So let's dive into that really quick, because there is some quite a bit of influence in there. So Hans Zimmer, legendary composer, did the score for this movie. Well known for Lion King, The Dark Knight, Pirates of the Caribbean, and so on. And he
Dune,
always was it.
Dune,
Yeah, Dune.
so
That's right.
good. Hmm.
Uh, I've done a little bit of learning about him, and I've been a fan of his for 20 years at this point. Maybe since I really started getting into his music. Um, and he has these really cool reasons for doing things with music. And I actually took his master class online. If you guys are familiar with master
No
class,
way, bro.
um, I was part of that subscription a while back, and one of the things I love is that he talks about how when he creates a phrase for a theme in a movie, he has a question and an answer. In almost every bit of his music, you can hear there's more of an inquisitive phrase, and then it always resolves with kind of a resolution part of the phrase. Pick any of his movies, you can find that moment in there. It's really really cool, and this movie is no exception. Um, but obviously, time and time dilation are a factor for the characters and the story. It's a plot device to keep things interesting. Like characters travel further into space, they're influenced by gravity, by a black hole, and just distance. So people on Earth are further away from where our characters are in a completely different galaxy. And that creates a time distortion, and time passes differently for different parties in the movie. So he represents time with clicks and meter in the music, and that is very clear, particularly on Miller's planet in the scene with the waves. And you can hear this kind of wood block that is like kind of metronomically ticking, you know. And that I can't remember exactly what the specific math is, but it's like for every click, it's like I don't know, whatever, another hour or something back on Earth, or with some number of intervals, you know.
Hmm.
Um, so that influence of time and the actual reality is like, hey, if they dawdle here on this planet, someone's like, dying on another planet because their whole lifetime is passing in this like 10-minute scene. It's crazy. So you can kind of represent it in the music, but also just the intensity and the beauty. He uses an organ, a church organ, as the primary instrument for the film, which who even does that these days, especially with a space movie, which you think should be all like synthesizers and blasty sound effects made out of a computer. But nope. He says, let's go into an a cathedral with an organ, a church organ, which represents kind of an antiquated method of music, and creates themes that now have transcended all social media, like cornfield chase. We've all used that clip on our videos. It's crazy. So I don't know. It's the soundtrack is fantastic. Do you have any thoughts on it? Because I'm rambling.
No, I'm glad you are, because I'm stuck at the organ thing, and I didn't really think about it, but I wonder how much different we would have felt if he had used a different instrument. Um, like, yeah, I don't know what. I guess I don't really have the words to explain it, but when I hear an organ, or when I think of an organ, I just think of vastness. I always picture like an organ, usually just in some kind of like a church setting, right? I just Otherwise I don't know any other time I think of one, but I think of like just openness, and just like echo, and maybe I mean, maybe that's what made the songs so iconic in the movie, is it complements space so well because there's just so much vastness.
Mhm.
I don't know, but yeah, I remember listening to the song while watching especially that scene with the waves coming up, and that was probably one of my favorite parts in the movie. There are so many different scenes, but I would say that is definitely just a huge, powerful scene because so much is happening. The music complements the intensity of the time dilation, and um, yeah, an hour basically when they were on Miller's planet, an hour on the planet equated to 7 years back home.
That's it.
Yeah,
Yep.
an hour on Miller's planet equals 7 years back home. So every second, every minute that you're out there, things are just moving. I can't imagine what that pressure feels like. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's a race against time, and you're already losing. It's insane. It's absolutely insane. And the song during that scene just complements it so well. It's such a beautifully beautiful shot. Everything about it's so awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's this going back to this topic of, loved ones being affected by this and the survival of humanity. Like the main characters here are battling that race against time, not just for everyone ever, every human ever, but for their individual loved ones. They're like, hey, if we screw up even for a second, it's going to cost us years. Yes, and it does. It really does. Um,
Yeah.
which begs the question, like, you have to put yourself in their shoes as a viewer, right? Like in the scene with the waves, they lose like 20 years or something like that because of a mistake that Dr. Brand makes. Later, they make a movement around the black hole where it's like costs like 51 more years, you know, or whatever the specific number was. I think that's what it was. Um, then you start to wonder, oh my gosh, could I even? How would I handle that? No one has experienced this before. I'm the only human, one of a few, who are experiencing this phenomenon of losing a lifetime in the flash of flash in the pan sort of moment in somewhere else. How do you emotionally and psychologically deal with that? So I want to ask you guys in the chat, like, how would you feel if you knew that you just in 1 hour you lost 20 years of time somewhere like with your loved ones? Like, uh, how would you even begin to process that? So let us know in the comments because I think it would wreck me. I think I'd like to think I could handle it, but I think it would really deeply, deeply affect my psyche.
Yeah, same. I think any person would feel that. That is that's so much to just dump on someone, you know?
Hmm.
It's time is the one thing I feel like in life that we can all agree it's finite. It's not something that you can just, oh, let me just swipe my card and get a few more of these things back, right? It is every second um is every second that pass is a second that you won't get back. And yeah, in that instance where you're losing not just seconds or minutes, but like days, months, and years, whew, man, I might just have a heart attack.
Hmm. Yeah. It's I'm not sure many movies have really explored this. And if they have, they haven't probably done it as well as Interstellar, like being able to really show the cost of time dilation. You see it immediately when they come off of Miller's planet and they return with and rendezvous with the Endurance and find Romilly, who's waited
Oh, he's like,
20 years.
yeah, he was in there. He was alone for 23 years. And
Yeah.
what felt like minutes to uh, Cooper and the rest um, was 23 years in isolation, just carrying on his duties.
Mhm. Like, let's put this into perspective for everyone listening. Imagine you go for your lunch hour and you come back and all of your employees are 23 years older.
Yeah. You go to Taco Bell, get a number five in the Baja Blast. You come back, you clock back in. Yeah, and everyone is 23 years older.
When I clock back in after going back from my lunch break, this is the noise that the machine makes.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that.
Yep.
Nice little
Uh,
ad.
um, dude, I know. Yeah, it really puts things in perspective, like a tangible, palatable way. That's exactly what is happening. And you know that, maybe this time Romilly's still alive, but what if he had a heart attack? What if he got a disease or just something like it ailed him and he wasn't there when you come back? What if later in the movie that little maneuver around the black hole saves them, but everyone they know, especially the people they cared about, what if they just aged out of existence and they died and it didn't matter anymore? You
Yeah.
know, those are the mistakes that are possible. It's Murphy. They can happen, right? Like they address Murphy's law. Anything that can happen will happen. Obviously, with his daughter being named Murphy, but um, there's just a lot of risk in this movie. Um,
Hmm.
and I guess that is really the case with space flight in general. Like, let's talk about the space station right now, the International Space Station. People have been continuously inhabiting it for almost 25 years at this point. I guess it is 25 years. Um, they have psych evals, and they have dedicated psychologists and therapists that help these astronauts go up to the space station for 6-month tours, where it's like, hey, you're gonna be locked in a metal tube for 6 months, no fresh air, no running showers, no family, no friends, no outdoors and sunshine, no waterfalls to sit by, or whatever, green grass to touch, dogs to pet. How does that affect your mind? Like, imagine that's just like literally stepping out our cosmic front door onto the doormat, like going to the space station. Now imagine the psychiatric toll of traveling, I don't know, quadrillions of light years somewhere else, and boom, you don't get access. You can't just come back on a lifeboat.
Too
Every
bad.
yeah, every decision you make might cost the life of every single one of your loved ones.
Yeah, you gotta have a you just gotta be mentally be prepared to handle that. And I would say I don't think anyone can. It's just one of those things that you just deal with it as it happens, you know?
Mhm.
Um, Nick, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna skip back just for a few seconds. There's a few comments I want to pin, um, or that I want to show that was really cool. Becca had only watched the movie this past year.
Mm,
Becca, better late than never.
true.
You have to revisit. I highly recommend revisiting it. I feel like you should at least watch the movie like 2 or 3 times. If you're anyone like me who just takes a while to understand things, especially so complicated, um, give it another watch. There's a few other comments here that from the last question that was really interesting. I wonder. Kayla says, "I wonder if they interviewed coma patients to see what this feeling is like."
Mm.
I have always wondered that, and I don't know the answer. I think that would be extremely interesting.
That's
Um,
probably the closest representation we have, right?
yep, kind of just like in a yeah, just kind of locked away. Tom also said it's like being in a coma for years.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
good points.
yeah, this was kind of cool. Becca says sometimes it feels like life is happening that way in reality, especially when you look back. That's a really great example. I often talk about running into my friends who have children, and every time I see them, it's like, the hell? I thought you were just like 2 years old the last time I saw you, like two
Mhm.
weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess essentially we all are experiencing some form of time dilation, and um, yeah, pretty crazy.
Really quick, just want to take a moment to say hello to everyone tuning in live here on YouTube to the Galactic Window Space Podcast. My name's Nick. This is Tan, and we're doing a deep dive into the movie Interstellar. If you're just tuning in with us now, and we are appreciating your support and your viewership and your listenership wherever you are. Thank you so much.
I hope
Um,
you guys like it here.
right. Um, Gosh, so much to cover, so little time. Let's keep it rolling here. There are
So
so many characters throughout the movie that play these huge parts, but I do want to talk a little bit about the robots, Tars and Case, because they are kind of critical to the execution of the story. Especially at the end. I love them. They're such a cool version um, of a robot. They're not C3PO. They're not a humanoid. They're these blocks, these like long rectangles that kind of, use all four of their legs to walk at the same time. It's like a, I don't know, like chopsticks. Um,
Ooh, sorry. I heard a key word and I just got excited.
yeah, right. Did I hit your like Winter Soldier trigger word that you're
Yeah.
gonna go and attack some foe? Just oh man. But I think they're really cool. And in this, I think the cool part about this movie with the robots is that they arrive as these sort of programmed machines, and yet they exhibit human traits through quantifiable numbers. Like Cooper, talks about 90% discretion, or honesty setting, where 10% being withheld, and then Cooper has the same conversation with Dr. Brand, who says, hey, we need to have a little bit of a buffer when you should or shouldn't say something to somebody because it might mean hurt feelings. uh but that sort of inverts as the movie goes on. Like the robots kind of become more human. They kind of start to understand how it works for humans, the honesty setting. And then, Cooper leverages this. He didn't believe in it. He's like, we should be honest about everything. But by the end, he's like, nope, 90%, So I think it's really neat to see how these robots play a factor in them traveling. Like Tars is with them for almost the whole story, all the way to the end. And he helps them gather the quantum data in the singularity of the black hole, gives it to Cooper and allows him to transmit it across space and time through this tesseract visualization that he can communicate with Murph at different points in her life, and eventually she uses it to save the human race. So I just there's so much to unpack there, but I think the critical thing was that machines were a support, a conduit. And I do love about this movie is that they didn't make the machines like go rogue. Like I think that when I was watching the movie for the first time, I thought, oh, for sure, one of them is going to turn on the humans and start killing everybody. And it just wasn't the case. They were just there to support. They followed through, and they were actually kind of complementary to the victory. So I don't know. I loved them. Did you like Tars and Case?
I did. I enjoyed their dynamic, and one thing I really like, I didn't know this until recently, but they were actually practical puppets. Like they weren't CGI. There were people controlling them. Even like the crazy scenes where they're like moving around, where it looked like kind of like an illusion where you just see like their legs moving. None of that was CGI. These were all ran by puppeteers. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I do like Tars and Case. I think if there was ever like a AI thing that you can buy now, right, in the form of some kind of robot, I would want it to be Tars or Case.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that'd be so cool. I'll
Mm-hmm.
buy one.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think to kind of tie the robot conversation into the greater space discussion, though, like what's important here is that in this story, Cooper can't complete the mission without the support of this robot, right? Space is too big for us to comprehend, and he ends up being that support for him, So I think it does speak to what we're doing right now with exploring space. We have all these observatories that are basically robot extensions of ourselves, like the Vera Rubin Observatory, and all these like space telescopes and these probes and satellites that we've got going all around other planets and colliding with comets and all these crazy things we've got going on. Like robots are required to explore space. And no, we don't have a TARS or a Case with us right now, but I think imagine having one of them with us as we go to explore, the moons of Saturn one day, or Jupiter, and we're digging around in ice, and they will be this key that is instrumental to us discovering things. Like humans can do a large part of it, but there is a part that we can't, and I'm not sure we ever will be able to meet that full spectrum. And this story beautifully illustrates how that can be done correctly, So I like that, and it makes me wonder about all the stuff we'll be able to discover with the future of robotics and dare I say it, artificial intelligence, like when done right.
Yeah, I don't think we're too far from it, man. Robots are such a big part of everyday life now. Um, I have a trash can that can like basically zip up the bag and dump it out for me, so I can just grab it, and then it replaces its own bag, which is insane.
What?
But yeah, I mean, in the movie we had what was that scene? Was it Tars who saved? I'm blanking on her name. The
Oh,
daughter,
Dr. Brand.
Doctor Brand.
Mhm.
Yeah, like we're not going to be too far from that, man. Where we're using AI to do search and rescue, you know.
Mhm.
So absolutely, I think they're going to be a big part of everything that we do and going like moving forward. Absolutely.
Well, I foresee robots in space exploration as the advanced guard because they're okay. They're going to hate me for this in the future, but they are technically expendable if there's no soul in them, right? Like, and that's maybe a very debatable topic. But like, we can be in a a ship going to another world, the moon, Mars, beyond, and we could send these humanoid robots or whatever, the Tesla Optimus or whatever you want to, machine of choice is. You can send them first and kind of lay the ground out without risking human life, and that's a really cool thing, to have that. Like, imagine you going to Mars first and you send the first crew down as a bunch of humans, but it's too volatile and we don't quite get things set up right. And then, you lose human life. Versus, hey, well, we knocked out a couple robots first. Thank goodness, like, we can go back and fix those robots later when we go get them, but at least it wasn't a real human life. And I think having a TARS is going to mitigate loss of human life in future exploration. Did I did I
Yeah.
see Tony space is fake in the chat there? Did you pull up a comment? I missed it.
Basically, Chad thinks you're gonna get canceled because of what you're saying about robots
Oh
being
yeah, I know.
expendable.
Yeah.
Well, Nick makes a very good point. They would kind of act like pawns in dangerous missions, and yeah, if we can carry out a mission without the risk of losing a human life, then I would say we're going to go that route every single chance we get.
Mhm.
Um, because after all, they're just computers. But
Right.
also, I'm kind of paranoid saying this. I'm like, man, I wonder if there's a computer listening or even StreamYard's listening. It's like, hey, we've got feelings too.
Yep. Hey, well, they do make some jokes when they're launching off of Earth in the movie, and was it Tars? Plenty of slaves for my robot colony. Like, he
Yeah.
fires back. They get
Mhm.
their pop shots. Oh man. My gosh, we are just rolling through this, and I don't not know how we're going to get through everything. We're just not. But let's find the landing pad here, the LZ, the landing zone.
Okay.
We talked at the beginning about how love really is kind of the core of this movie, and it uses the vessel of space exploration. Um,
Love.
you know, and Dr. Brand gives a very specific line, and I'm going to struggle to nail it, but she essentially says, that love is the only thing that, transcends the boundaries of space and time. It is, she basically says it's quantifiable. And
Mm.
that is maybe it's when she and Cooper are having that disagreement about her connection to Wolf Edmonds, and she thinks that even though the math or the science doesn't prove that he's alive, she's like, I still, feel like I need to go and see him because it doesn't matter how far away I am or how long it's been. I'm always going to love him, like, and Cooper doesn't understand it, you know,
Yeah.
and he doesn't think that that's good enough. But later he learns that's not the case. He does understand it, and it is the reason why he makes the decisions that he does at the end of the movie. So I think if there was any nugget to take away from the film at all, it is that it's that you know we can travel across the vast cosmos, deep into another galaxy, and love still is quantifiable, and it's something that transcends time and space, and that is ultimately the human experience. Without humans, there is no love. Like, it is just a cold, dark universe. And this movie beautifully illustrates it, and through these rich characters and intense stakes. And that's why I love it. Is because you get fulfilled. You get to watch people exhibit their love, and that's something that we all identify with.
Damn, got chills, man. Yeah, it's if you look at it at a deeper level, yeah, we are the only things that can experience that, you know?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I guess you could argue like animals too. But like I don't know, that might just like side rail the conversation. But yeah, without love, without this incredible feeling and yeah, it would just be a dark, empty place. It's what makes us human.
Mhm.
I don't know. I you said it so well, man. I can't really add much to it, but I think love is such a big element to the movie. It really just kind of ties everything together. And it does, like you said, it does it in such a beautiful way because like you're watching a movie about space and you aren't like, oh, this is like a romantic movie. You know, it's not very pink and like hearts everywhere. But the core of it all, the risks that Cooper takes, leaving his daughter behind and doing just traveling, you know, into space, um, all because of love.
Mhm.
It's beautiful.
In the Tesseract sequence, that crazy, trippy sequence with all the different visualized timelines at the end of the movie.
So insane.
Right.
Another favorite scene.
So cool. Tars is, somewhere in that dimension, and he's asking Cooper, like, how do you know Murph will receive the message? And he says, because she's my daughter. Right. Like if there was all these questions about life and existence, and that's the one thing he was dead 100% confident in,
Yeah.
was that she's going to receive it because I know, like he says, because no, correction. He says, because I gave it to her. It's the watch. Sorry. I botched that line. He says, because I gave it to her, and because he was manipulating the watch hand for her to receive the message. Like, and it's basically the same message. Because she's my daughter, she's going to know. Like, we have this unshaken bond. And yeah, same thing. Doesn't matter how far, how long, or what dimension I'm in, she's going to feel it. That connection is always there. Um, and it just, who would ever have thought to visualize it that way? Like, imagine when we started making movies, in the early 20th century, first motion picture coming out. People never thought about making this movie. you know,
Mhm.
there's like slapstick, black and white, like, super fast frame rate movies that everyone's tripping and, falling over. And then here we are with Interstellar in a tesseract with time dilation. It's quite a contrast.
It's beautiful, man.
Mhm,
I think I'm gonna have to rewatch it now.
mhm,
And then she has Day says in the chat, and then she has her because my dad told me moment. Exactly.
mhm.
Karen says, "Who cried watching the movie?" I did for sure, especially during that scene where he was just like, just so desperate to get her attention, and yeah,
Mhm. Well, this movie started hitting differently for me because when I first saw it, I did not have a kid, and I've got a daughter myself, and this movie hits in a different tier of impact for me as a father of a daughter, and I think I cry more in this movie now than I did when I first saw it because of the real tangible feeling of that. Definitely another reason to keep watching it as I grow older because it will continue to evolve just like Cooper and Murph and their relationship as time moved on, right? So I thought that was interesting.
I'm rewatching it after the show. I'm rewatching it. Excited.
Gosh. Um, One other note here. If you guys are interested in learning more about the actual science behind this movie and the theoretical physics of it, Kip Thorne did put a book out called The Science of Interstellar. I don't own it, but I do remember thumbing through it at a Barnes and Noble back when it came out, and I really wanted to buy it. So I think it may just push that back on my list again. Um, and it has a forward by Christopher Nolan too. So if you're really interested in this movie and trying to learn more and want to find more actual detail that Tan and I are not as well versed in, go read that book as well. Go support Kip Thorne, maybe as a thank you for making this movie so awesome. It's but that resource is out there, so I want to encourage you guys to pursue that. There were so many points we wanted to talk about with this movie. We did not hit them all. Maybe we should put the continuation
Part
into
two.
one of our special members only live streams coming up, where we can continue the conversation if you guys are interested. So we might consider that. I could talk about this for hours for sure, but we want to land this plane. So
Yeah.
yep. Gosh,
I'm trying to think of any last thoughts as we wrap up the show here. Ending on love, man. Love is I don't know. I think every single one of us that is watching or listening at some point in their life, I mean, we all do things for love, whether it's a significant other, a pet, children, or just something that you truly care about going on with the world. Love is kind of like just like this energy, this power that comes from, just kind of comes from within, man. There's not really a fuel. There's not really an oil that's making it work. It's just kind of like what you said. It's the one thing that makes us human. And I'm not even sure where I'm going with this. I just feel the need to like spread love in any way I can.
I'm glad you are, man, because don't we all know that there's quite a shortage of it these days? So
Yeah.
I say scream it louder, dude. Like
Yeah.
you just need more of it.
Yep. I guess that's my message, y'all. Be loving to one another and spread it as much as you can.
Mm-hmm. That's a beautiful way to close up the discussion, dude. Well put. So you guys, we were talking, Tan and I, and as we were planning for this episode, and when we were just brainstorming, discussion points, we thought, hey, this is such a fun way to look at space. Like, obviously we love to have guests on the show. That's obviously a core tenet of it. There's another Christopher Nolan reference, Tenet.
Good one.
The core point of the show is to have guests to bring that outside perspective in. And of course, we have our own discussions, but we thought it'd be such a fun way to give you guys a little bit more of a relatable connection point, is to look at space and astronomy through media, again, movies, TV shows, books, music. And we thought, let's keep doing this, like what we did tonight. So Interstellar was sort of our pilot for that. It was a really great and easy way to get involved with it. Most people have seen it, but we're going to do this going forward. So this is a little bit of an announcement. First time it's kind of going out here into the wild, but roughly once a month, we will be doing an episode just like this, where we pick some form of media and we do a deep dive into it and how space and astronomy impacted it or shaped it. So this is the announcement of the next episode of these sort of media deep dives. So December 15th, Monday night, 9 p.m. Central Time, we'll be doing a deep dive into The Martian. One of our, I know, one of our other favorite, astronomy based movies, exploring the red planet, Mars, with one of our favorite actors, also known as
Matt Damon.
Mr. Matt Damon. Just such a great movie, super fun, and a little less serious. I mean, it does have a serious edge, but has a little bit more of a, I don't know, campy, adventurous edge to it. I mean, campy is the wrong word. There's just a slightly more lighthearted spirit to it than Interstellar. But so it'll be a.
Can you play it one more time?
One more time for the people in the back.
Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Can we do a review on that movie?
Yeah.
Or maybe that's when we get canceled.
That is absolutely when we get canceled. And the robots are going to do the canceling.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, we're going to be doing this, and we'll do it once a month. I think it'll be super fun. Let us know what you guys think, and of course, give us your recommendations for media to do deep dives in.
There's a couple good ones. Contact, I would love to do. It's probably my favorite movie. It's right up there with Interstellar. And then Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe. Oh my god. Yeah, that one. Let's do a deep dive on that one. There's probably only a few talking points if we were to do that one.
Yep. There's a lot of science in those shows.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited about it. So mark your calendars, December 15th. We'll do a deep dive into The Martian. So this is also maybe your guys' homework is watch The Martian or read the book before that show, so you guys come prepared if you have not seen it. So this is your warning to go do that. So it's not a spoiler podcast for you, but
The Martian. Watch it.
yeah. Cool. Well, let us know what you guys thought of tonight. We would love your feedback. Leave a comment in the chat, or if you're listening after, leave a comment on your audio platform that you're watching. I know some of my comment sections like Spotify, or on YouTube. If you're coming back here to the replay, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about Interstellar and even about this discussion. Your feedback is super helpful. If you want to continue to support the show, you guys will be back here Monday night Central Time, 9 p.m. And we appreciate your viewership. You can also become a member by clicking join. And for $4.99 a month, if you are on desktop, I think it's a little bit more on mobile. You get some perks that not everyone else does. So check those out, and you can help keep the show operating. Covers those operating costs, and we're grateful for those of you who are supporting us currently. Yeah, and don't forget to click the hype button. And I'm just going down the line here. Hit the hype button on this video, and let's see where we can land on the leaderboard. I'm very excited. So thank you guys so much for doing all those things.
You guys rock. Lastly, I just realized it's a lot of us are celebrating Thanksgiving this week. So if you guys do celebrate, we hope you guys have a fun and safe week. If you don't, we hope you have a great and safe week regardless. And like Nick said, thank you so much. We are grateful for you guys. Have fun. And yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Yep. Happy Thanksgiving, all. Love you. And we will see you all on the other side.